Good morning. I'm being as quiet as I can because I'm at a place I wanted to be at for so long. Excuse me, I just need to turn this light down a minute. That's a bit better. And I don't know if anybody's in. I'm hoping you can see those. I'm at OC and I've wanted to be here ever since I saw Neil Burnell's first image. And it's like, I'm here. The water is calm. I couldn't have asked for a better high tide. All I need now is to be able to Photoshop the out of it to make the image of my dreams. I can't tell you. I'm so excited. I'm down at the far end. It is blue hour, very blue. There's boats out on the water, but not very many. And they've all, I can hide them nicely behind the beach huts. The huts are phenomenal. Then they were designed to imitate the type you see in the Maldives, where you have to make sure you're in and out before high tide, because then you're stuck. You're just there. Oh, I'd love to go and stay in one. That would be even more phenomenal. Now, high tide is still about 40 minutes away. It's 4:30 this morning. If it comes any higher, I'm going to get very wet feet. I have actually got trainers on today, so I didn't ruin my walking boots. So I'm going to go and get set up and see if we can make some images. We're about 40 minutes off sunrise as well. And yes, I've managed to tie the hair back today because I couldn't face another day of it being 16 degrees and my hair getting in my face and my hat having to be on. Right, I'm going to hop over this flood defence and start lining up some photos because I'm so excited. It's like all my Christmases have come at once. There is going to be some serious shit cloning on this job. You have no options at all. The colours are wonderful. They're really muted pastel tones. I can't get in front of most of them because the water's just too high and it's a slope. Excuse me, what's going on here? The banking slopes down into the water, so I am likely to end up on my butt, which is not the plan. I have no idea how deep it is. I don't think it's very deep. But I'd be quite happy with this one. And I can get a shot down them from this end, and then from that end I can get a shot down here. There are some boats to be cloned out, the horizon line to be cloned out. I just need to position myself properly so that I can do as little in post, or as little fiddly stuff in post, as is humanly possible. Oh, I can't wait to show you it in the daylight. Right, let's crack on. Now, having said that it's warm, I've had to put my jacket on, because when you're by the water you get a bit of a breeze, and I'm still trying to be quite quiet, because I say I don't know if these little houses are inhabited at the moment. I'm having to be very, very deliberate with the compositions, because, oh, excuse me a second, I'm trying to get rid of as much stuff around the huts as I can. I'm concentrating on this muted blue one to start with. You can just see there's a boat there. That's not in the image, that little bit. The angle I'm shooting at is kind of there. There's obviously the horizon. That boat is kind of butted up against the edge of this, so that'll be cloned out. They are gorgeous. That's a very strange thing to say about a set of houses on stilts. But they're all these beautifully muted pastel tones. That one is a lavender colour, which is just beautiful. With blues and creams, oranges, greens. Wonderful. I kind of wish I'd got here at low tide or lower tide to see how far down I could walk. But the tide is still coming in. We're 20 minutes off high tide. I've started off with a 17 to 55. I'm shooting at 55mm. I've got the 0.6 grad on because the sky is brighter, as always, than the water. I've got the polarizer twisted round and I'm running at between 30 and 50 seconds. I'll just have a quick nosy, see what. Yeah. I think I prefer it with the polarizer turned to get rid of the reflections. The breeze is picking up and the water is starting to flow quite nicely now. To shoot that way, I'm going to try with a 17 to 55, but I think I'm going to have to swap out and put the wide angle on. There's going to be lots of space around them. And it's probably going to start from that image, from that hut. I'd like this one, but there's a boat there. Unless I can move far enough this way. Oh, I might be able to. That I don't get him in, because that really would be a monkey to clone out. And then it's just a case of cloning out the little bits that you can see on the horizon. Like a kid in a sweet shop. 3,000 images later. Right, the sun is rising over that way. So the idea was it's going to put some nice light eventually over here. We might get a bit of colour, we might not. Jury's out on that one at the moment. I think the cloud bank that way is too heavy for it to actually colour up, but we'll see, we'll see. But I couldn't have asked for a better start to the day. Oh, I'm so excited. And oh, those huts are phenomenal. Right, I've done a few shots from this end. I'm now going to walk down to the other end and take an image up a ways. And then I might just... I can't get over there, although apparently the tide goes out really quickly, so maybe I will be able to very shortly, because I'd like to take some images of the individual ones in the different colours and maybe try and stitch them together, because this location is purely about playing. For me, it's not about accurate representation. This is purely a creation location. I don't know if that makes sense. I think we're probably just about at full high tide now. So I'm trying not to rush, but I'm conscious that the tide apparently turns fairly quickly here. I'm just down at the next get through. They've all got floodgates. So if the water obviously does come up particularly high, and you've got the holiday park behind. I'm down at this end. Oh, so giddy. Let's give you a quick whiz round. Slightly different angle on them. And it's a case of trying to create a bit of space between that end one and that piece of banking, whilst trying to make my life incredibly easy by getting as many of the boats out as possible. The wind's died off again. As the light's coming up, it's pulling these colours out. Oh, thank you. I've been so trying not to get excited about this place, because I had visions of coming here and the tide being completely wrong, or it blowing a gale, pouring with rain. And it's come together. And now I am going to need to improve my photoshopping skills no end. I have got a video that I'm going to buy, courtesy of Mr. Gary Goff, on how to do the cloning, because whilst I can clone, I don't think I've got the necessary skills to do this particular scale of cloning accurately. So I need a bit of guidance. So I'm hoping that Gary's video is still available to buy. I'm not sure how much it is, but I don't care. I'm so giddy. Right, I'm going to get set up down here. I bought a whole... I was going to leave my gear down there, but I thought, no, I'll get here and I'll need the wide angle and all sorts of things. So I've lugged everything down. Time to get set up. Oh, talk about a kid in a sweet shop. Right, the tide is now well on its way out and it is going out really quickly. I'm still down at this end, shooting up there. It's going to be really fun trying to create space there. Because no matter how much of an angle I got, I couldn't get enough space there to give me some water to play with. I'm just running an exposure on this creamy white one. Yeah, as expected, no sunrise colour. We are now 20 minutes, 30 minutes after sunrise, so it's about 5 o'clock. I don't care. I really don't care. So I'm going to pack up from here. I'm going to wander along to the top and see if I can get a couple of images of the other coloured ones, and then look to try and clone them together and blend them together. I don't know. I'm going to see what I think when I get them into Photoshop. But I could end up with all sorts. I've already done a battery in, because this is all long exposure work. The water was really calm when I got here, but the breeze has picked up and I'm wanting to smooth the water out. So each exposure is around about 40 to 50 seconds. And the rest of it I'll get done in Photoshop. The tide is coming in or going out that well that down here you can now see the footpaths that lead up to the steps, which you couldn't see when I got here. So I'm going to have to work quite quickly. Oh, if Carlsberg made mornings. And as quick as that, we're done. The tide is receding really quickly. When I got here, the water was virtually up to here. I couldn't have walked along there. Oh, as I say, no colour, really don't mind. Little bits of detail in the sky, nothing major. This is going to take some proper editing. Oh, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to teach myself how to do this. And now I know, if I haven't got it right this time, I know exactly what tide I'm supposed to be looking for, so I can always come back down again. It's only 3.5 hours from home. What a beautifully peaceful morning. I ended up shooting at about f5.6 to try and separate the buildings from the little bit of background that there is, in the hope that that will make the editing a bit easier. We'll see what happens when I get it into Photoshop. Oh, I am so glad. This place was the reason for the visit down south. And I'm so glad it all came together. Yes, I would have killed for a colourful sunrise, but hey, this'll do me perfectly.